Hello, my name is Olivia Kirkham. I am a sophomore in college and I am a professional in burnout. At least I was. And from discussion with my peers, I understand that this is a problem that many are struggling with right now. And it's a problem we fall victim to because of a lack of emotional and a lack of physical regulation. And like I said, I was once the same. In fact, I became so heavily busy and inelastic that I almost lost my opportunity to go to college. But not to worry, because if you can learn to effectively manage your time and manage your expectations, you will and can succeed without making the mistakes that I did. And in order for me to supply you with the right toolbox to combat burnout, I must first explain A, the story that inspired me to write this, and B, a bit of my journey collecting the proper tools. Let's begin by taking a look at Aesop's fable, The Vixen and the Lioness. The story retold by the website Aesop's Fables that I retrieved on January 27th of 2026 is the story, like I said, The Vixen and the Lioness. So a vixen is out and about with her kids. She's taking care of them. She has a bunch of little kids. And she sees a lion, and this lion only has one cub, but the lioness seems to be putting so much effort into helping this cub thrive and survive. And so the vixen asks the lioness, why are you putting so much effort into this cub? You only have one. But the lioness proudly says, I may only have one, but that one is a lion. And so in our lives, we tend to be more like this vixen. We tend to have a million kits, a million extracurriculars, classes, jobs, all of the above, because we're told this is what will get us noticed by college advisors and hirers and just other people. And this isn't necessarily wrong, but there has to be more to it. Now to continue, I'll tell you a bit more about my journey. By the time I was a sophomore in high school, I was in more programs than you could possibly imagine. I was in sports every single season. I was in 4 clubs, being an officer of 2. I had work. I had volunteer hours that I needed to get done. And on top of it all, I was a straight A student in college courses and honors classes. And as you can imagine, this kind of schedule makes you incredibly inflexible. Regardless, I kept it up for a long time, but slowly as life started to happen, I would become worse at upkeeping this schedule, and my work's quality deteriorated. My first boyfriend and I broke up, and I fell behind. And then I had a close family member pass away, and I fell behind. Yet still, I remained unchanging. I kept my schedule super full, and that all changed one day when I had a friend, a close friend, who attempted suicide. And I know that's a big, hard topic, but it happens. And he attempted suicide at school, and I found him and I stayed with him until the EMTs came. But this was my catalyst. I learned I needed to slow down, because when that happened, I fell behind. And from then on, I struggled to go to school. And once again, I was no longer ready. I wasn't ready for university, and I missed the application dates. And I don't share any of these examples for sympathy. Life happens. Parents divorce, pandemics happen, grandparents pass away, and you just have to account for it. And when you fill your schedule up too much, any sort of inconvenience will cause you to break. And it took a lot of taking care of my physical and mental health so that when the next crisis hit, I wasn't falling apart and I didn't lose track of everything, and I didn't have too many kits to take care of. Like I said, by proxy, everything that I was juggling didn't fall apart, and I reached a balance, and that was the key. And if there's one thing that you take away from this talk, I hope it is that you remember that overworking yourself trying to take care of 20 kids is unreasonable. And you should always try to aim for just having 1 or 2 lion cubs instead. Thank you. Do you have any questions?